Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and this is your stimulus check update for the next stimulus package for Wednesday, December 16th. I hope everyone is off to a good and safe start to their Wednesday so far. In this video, I'll be discussing updates in regards to the next relief package and the second stimulus check. I'll also be discussing unemployment, why it's possible we may finally see stimulus checks in the next bill, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you would remember real quickly, liking this video, give me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so being that Congress is supposed to adjourn for the Christmas break on Friday, we only have a few days left to strike a deal on this next relief package. I think Mitch McConnell summed it up the best when he said the next several days are going to bring about one of two outcomes. Either 100 senators will be here shaking their heads, slinging blame and offering excuses about why we still have not been able to make a law, or we will break for the holidays, having sent another huge dose of relief out the door for the people who need it. So what's it going to be? More blame games and pointing fingers, or actually working together as the unlikely duo of Josh Hawley and Bernie Sanders have proved possible, and sending more relief to American families? In the end, that's completely up to them. Of course, as we all know, the current proposal by the bipartisan group as is does not include a second round of stimulus payments. However, in recent days, some lawmakers in the bipartisan group have actually suggested including another round of stimulus checks if they're able to exclude the liability shield and state and local funding. By removing the aid for state and local government, the overall package will be reduced by $160 billion. And since Republicans want to keep the size of the next package below the $1 trillion mark, there would be enough room to add in stimulus checks to the deal if they remove the $160 billion for state and local. Whether or not Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer would be okay with removing aid for state and local government is yet to be seen. Most recently, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said they really wanted funding for state and local, but they declined to draw a bright red line as they had before. Could it be that they're finally beginning to back down from their demands they previously had for it, now that we need a deal more than ever? It's also being noted that Speaker Pelosi is still telling Stephen Mnuchin that she's insistent on state and local aid, so it's really hard telling where her head is at. One big development in stimulus talks is that the second most senior Democrats in both the House and the Senate, Steny Hoyer and Dick Durbin, are now open to a deal where there's no aid for state and local aid, which really opens the door for a deal to take place. Plus, we already know that Mitch McConnell would approve a bill similar to the one by the bipartisan group, as long as it excluded both aid for state and local and liability provisions. McConnell is insisting that they only vote on areas where both parties agree, which really makes sense because this bill has been held up over the past several months because they've been unwilling to pass any relief on the areas that they do agree on. However, being that Nancy Pelosi believes that with the large budget shortfalls, it could accelerate the layoffs taking place among state and local governments. So basically, it looks like if state and local aid makes its way in there, the bill will be simply too large for stimulus payments. If the bill is too large for stimulus payments, Senators Josh Hawley and Bernie Sanders are going to threaten to not pass the next government spending bill. We also have President Trump putting pressure on lawmakers once again to include a stimulus check in there. In the end, it looks like the best case scenario for us, if we want to receive a stimulus check, is for Pelosi and Schumer to drop their demands for state and local aid, and then we can move forward with the vote. And even though certain arguments could be made for the necessity of state and local, that can always be passed early on next year. What's important now is we take care of American families first. We need to extend the unemployment benefits for those in need, and we need to send American families a second round of stimulus payments. As Josh Hawley said, Congress must not go home for Christmas until they vote on direct relief for American families. Also, if they do go home, we run into the scary scenario of nothing ever getting done at all. As they continue the vaccinations, if cases of the virus go down, and if unemployment continues to decrease, they may no longer see a need for relief. That's why it's so important that our lawmakers like Josh Hawley and Bernie Sanders continue to put pressure on Congress to work out a deal that helps American families first. With time running out, we simply don't have much more time to lose. In the meantime, all we can continue to do is hang in there, stay strong, and hope for the best. In unemployment news, in just 11 days, unemployment benefits for around 14 million Americans will come to a halt. Even though Congress is getting closer to reaching a deal on a virus relief package that would extend benefits for those on PUA and PUC benefits, even if they do meet the deadline, unfortunately, extra unemployment benefits will likely take several weeks to start going out. According to unemployment experts, the delay could be as short as a couple of weeks, or possibly as long as extending into February. Since many states have unemployment systems dating back several decades, it makes it really difficult to code in the new rules. Before states are able to code in the new rules, the US Labor Department will need to issue guidance on the rules to state labor agencies, which could also take several days. In addition to that, of course, there are historically high levels of claims coming in each and every week. So with these benefits set to lapse, it could be a while, even if Congress does pass a bill, for those on unemployment benefits to begin receiving their payments once again. This is obviously going to be quite frustrating, especially considering our lawmakers have had the past several months to extend these benefits, but instead they played around, pointed fingers, and did not accomplish a single thing. With that said, let's hope that Congress can wrap something up in the next couple of weeks in order to extend these benefits on a longer term, more stable basis. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to move right along to answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you do have any other comments or questions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to answer as many of the comments and questions as I possibly can, but for those comments and questions I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first comment of today's video, which is from Ramon. Ramon says, are they still going to garnish the second stimulus check if you owe child support? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Ramon, and that is still completely up in the air. Since they haven't written any recent bills with stimulus checks in them, we don't know the official language or if they would be garnished. However, in recent proposals by Democrats, they make it so those with past due child support would not have their stimulus payments garnished. On the other hand, in recent proposals by Republicans, they make it so those with past due child support would have their stimulus payments garnished. So in the end, it really depends on which proposal they decide to go with. Since the CARES Act was a bipartisan deal and stimulus payments were garnished for those with past due child support, my best guess is they will be garnished once again, but let's wait and see. With that said, I'll definitely make sure to keep you updated one way or another. Okay, moving right along to the next question of today's video, which is from Rosemary. Rosemary says, are the PUA benefits going to be retroactive? Okay, thank you so much for your question, and more than likely, if they do extend the PUA benefits in the next relief package, they will not be retroactive. However, at this point, since they expire on December 26th anyways, as long as they get this relief package passed by then, there won't really be a need for those benefits to be retroactive. In the proposal by the bipartisan group, that PUA benefits would last for around 4 months, beginning in late December when they're set to expire. Of course, from now until the bill actually ends up passing, a lot of this can certainly change, but I'll definitely make sure to keep you updated. Alright, moving right along to the last question of today's video, which is from Debbie. Debbie says, hi Josh, is it true that we're supposed to be getting a raise on our SSI? If so, how much? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Debbie. And yes, next year, there will be a raise from the cost of living adjustment for those on Social Security benefits. In total, there will be an increase of 1.3% in 2021. In addition to that, Joe Biden also has a plan that would increase monthly Social Security checks by $200 per month during the pandemic. However, like anything else, this would have to pass through Congress, so there certainly aren't any guarantees. Joe Biden would not be able to come in during his first day, for example, and make an executive order to increase the monthly payments for those on Social Security by $200 per month. With that said, with any of these changes, I'll definitely make sure to keep you updated. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so and it's a great support to me. Also, if you'd like to receive 4 free stocks from Webull, with 2 of them valued all the way up to $1,600 each, please feel free to claim those free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And finally, if you join Rakuten with my referral link in the description box below and spend at least $20, Rakuten will give you $20 cash back. This means that you could buy an item through Rakuten with one of the referral links, such as Nike, for $20, which would be around $22 after tax, and Rakuten will give you $20 just for making that purchase. This is just an incredible deal that I would love for everyone to take advantage of. Okay, so until next time, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today.